Hi there, I'm Linda Dillon with the Council of Love, and welcome to Daybreak. My grandmother came to visit me this week, one of those 3 a.m. wake-up calls. Grandma died when I was 9, and I hadn't heard from her in ages, but I always recognize her when she shows up by her wonderful scent of rose water and flour. It seemed that Grandma was always in the kitchen baking, especially bread, which she would give to us as a treat. Warm bread, fresh from the oven, slathered with butter and honey, fresh from her hives. Healthy? Perhaps not, but absolutely filled with love. She came to talk to me about home and the importance of home in each of our lives. I've been struggling a little lately, wondering if it's time to downsize. A huge decision, and one filled with a lot of mixed feelings. Our home has been an incredible gift to us. A 13 gem located on Heart Circle. We love our home, our neighbors, our neighborhood. But nevertheless, time is marching on. So here's Grandma talking to me about the importance of home, wherever it is, of where I anchor so that we can do our work and enjoy our lives. And I get it. I've moved 23 times, sometimes quite literally being relocated pretty much overnight. And I have nothing to complain about. The council has always brought me to the most beautiful places that I've always loved. Our current home is the longest I've lived anywhere. And I didn't even leave home until I was 20. So moving at this point is a big deal, especially during this time of our ascension, of the shift. But if it's part of the mother's plan, I'm okay with that. It's a done deal. So as we chatted, Grandma asked me if the Divine Mother, or the Council, had asked me to move. The answer was no. And had I spoken to my house, my home, my sacred nest under the dome about moving? Well, no. This has been more of an inner conversation based on concern about money and aging and housekeeping, all that practical day-to-day and really mundane stuff. So Grandma says, well, let's talk to her, meaning the house, and hear what she thinks. What's her name? Now, I have to point out, first, everything. All things have energy and intelligence. They communicate in different ways, sometimes slower or much faster. But all things have energy and ways to communicate. And it's dismissive, even foolish, to not acknowledge that. So of course, we can talk to this sacred space that has cocooned us, nurtured us for over 20 years. That's an aside. So back to Grandma and her visit. I was so taken aback and embarrassed to admit to Grandma that I didn't know her name. Me, who knows the name of every tree on the property, most of the rocks, a good deal of the plants. Like, OMG, how could I not have ever asked the house or nest her name. It's not like we just moved in to this house, which we said yes to even before we hit the front door. Man, did I feel stupid and really unappreciative. So, of course, we asked her name. And she declared loud and clear, Esmeralda. Esmeralda. A name I don't know. So I said, you mean Esperanza? Because I know that name and I know it means hope. And that felt really right, really fitting right now. And she came back very clearly and responded, no, Esmeralda. Okay, I get it. So then we proceeded to have a wonderful three-way conversation. Grandma, Esmeralda, and I, talking about the home had been a gift from the Council of Love, and how no, they hadn't asked me to move, and how they shelter us in love here, that they protect us and hold us in a sacred space. It was so touching and heartwarming. And even as Grandma was wagging her finger at me, scolding me for not listening and asking and suggesting subtly, or not so subtly, that I was not trusting or paying attention, which I'm sure is why she showed up. So enough said. Of course, as soon as I got up the next morning, I had to rush to my computer and research, find out what the spiritual meaning of the name Esmeralda is. And oh boy, I should have known. Esmeralda, Spanish-Portuguese derivative for emerald, heart-centered energy, linked to the heart chakra, with qualities of compassion, unconditional love, a caring nature, and spiritual wisdom. Now, I've often said over the years to folks, do you think it's a coincidence that I live on Heart Circle? The symbol for the Council of Love is a heart within a circle. So I get it. But this conversation with what people so often think of as mortar and wood, it took it to a whole new level, which, needless to say, has and is continuing. It's a conversation that's continuing along with Bruce and Melba, our live oaks, Maggie Magnolia, Jasminda Sakura II, our Royal Poinciana tree, and of course the Rose Garden Collective. Yeah, and the fairies, the bunnies, the birds are all chiming in. And I'm asking everybody, not only for their opinions or their thoughts, their guidance, but also for their help. And that's my point, actually, of sharing this rather personal disclosure story. We tend to turn to our guides, the company of heaven, our friends in the rafters for advice, for help, and even to pray for divine intervention. But here we are, in the midst of our planetary ascension, and the guidance couldn't be clearer for us to be in form, feet on the ground, to stay still, to anchor, and to stay put. So my friends, are you talking to your house, to your apartment or condo, to your neighborhood, to the grass, to the trees, even to the street? And are you listening to their guidance, to what they're sharing with you? And are you accepting that help? If not, give it a whirl. I guarantee you will be so pleasantly surprised. So do it. And I'd love to hear back how it goes. And I'll keep you posted. But for now, from my heart to yours, as always, thanks for listening. And until the next time, all my love. Bye for now.